Let's, hello you lovelies, let's talk about Star Wars Skeleton Crew Episode 4, and I'm very happy to say this continues the tradition of each and every episode working for me even more than the last. Really dug this one, but before we dive in, please hit that subscription bell. We are rapidly approaching 40,000, and I'm very excited about that. I want to hit that by the end of the year, if at all possible. Also, please leave a like on this video, because it helps the algorithm, and I know you like this video, and most of all, please leave a comment below on this. I want to talk all things Star Wars with you. This has been a very lovely entryway back into the fandom. The Acolyte wasn't as much my jam, hard to navigate, hard to talk about, but as I'm really enjoying Skeleton Crew, it's been really lovely getting back into the Star Wars world through those comments. So please, like I said, I do lots of movie and TV reviews and news, as well as comic news and reviews, so if any of that's your jam, hit that subscribe, but no matter what, let's have a chat in the comments below. Skeleton Crew, Episode 4. Very, very fun stuff. This one, I think, was directed by the Daniels, who absolutely crush whimsy and fun and a sense of childlike wonder in any of their work. And here in a beautiful representation of childlike wonder, even in horrible times, they nailed it. This, to me, is exactly what Star Wars can be. This, to me, felt like Andor for kids, and that is high praise. This is the war side of Star Wars. All of the use political is like a swear nowadays, but like the politics of warfare, the nitty-gritty of warfare, the conversation about the why of warfare is an essential part of Star Wars. It's the second half of the title, and here we look at the absurdity of it. I love that this is a conversation about kindness as weakness or not. And it isn't. Kindness is so good. I love that this is a conversation about what it means to appreciate that you're not a planet or a territory or a town or anything, a space that is not in turmoil. And I love that these kids, through their adventures, are appreciating more and more what they have. And more, I'm thinking this might be my big, crazy tinfoil hat theory that Jude Law's character is a parental figure telling a story to get his kids to appreciate what they have in this magical planet. There's so much that feels so over the top and big, and if this doesn't end up being the ending, I'm still very happy with the journey I've had in the show, but even in this episode, like, the little girl they meet doing random flips and being like this crazy, like, they made it so over the top, like, you know, her as a kid soldier, it feels like it's through the eyes of a child hearing a story. The big reveal, dramatic moment of him walking out of the mist felt very much to me like a moment from Hook. And more, this feels like Hook. This feels like a tale being told, a la The Princess Bride. And again, even if it's not, I'm enjoying this journey, finding out the mystery as it unfolds. I really did like that the robot, the pirate robot, who really elevated the show in episode 2 for me, was programmed in a way that the revelation that the planet was right available at all times was a double blind. I love that the robot was programmed to say, you know, I can't say I know anything about AT-AT as a response, like a literal programming, but then it wasn't just the easy answer of, and now here's the answer. Now that you've tricked me out of my programming, here's the destination you're going on the journey. It was a double blind of, and I've been doubly instructed to murder. Like, it's a pirate robot. I love that. That Treasure Island energy is strong, really digging this whole vibe. I also like that each episode brings me a little bit more connection to what makes each of these kids individually different. I'm finally understanding how Neil works, that pure kindness. I still like that we've got Captain Fern showing some weakness, and there's a stoicism to her, but it's coming from a place of, like, that's what she has to be, and she doesn't necessarily want to be. I like KB getting a little bit more time to shine and give us some energy there. I'm really seeing each individual kid as their own identity in the show, and that is so important. It's always so hard with anything with kids. That's why the Goonies stands out so much, because when you think of the Goonies, you've got a different personality for each of the kids. In 2 hours, we knew which one of those kids we identified with. Be like, oh, I'd be the blank. And as you grow up, that might shift, that might change. And I love that this is a great entryway point for kids that might or might not know Star Wars. Gen Z and Gen Alpha and whatever the next one is, they're all so removed from the 70s Star Wars. And it's interesting because we're entering an age where the prequels are getting a lot of love because the people that were, you know, 10, 12, 15 are grown up now. The ones that came out when they saw the prequels in theaters are now old enough now to have that nostalgia for them. Whereas when I was growing up, when I was a kid and I went and saw those in theaters, the original trilogy had that nostalgia. So I think the original is always going to have nostalgia, but we're living in an age right now where the prequels have that, like, yeah, this is my Star Wars. And in 10 years, we're going to have an age where the sequel trilogy is going to have that nostalgia. But in the middle, it's really good to have an entryway point for Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen whatever, the new era of Star Wars fans to have something they can identify with. They can see which one of these kids feels like they're that kid in the group. And each episode gives us a little bit more context into who they are. Each episode gives us a little bit more of an eye line with each and every moment. So this episode, once again, felt like a singular adventure in this grand world. The last episode felt like, an introduction to our Jude Law character. It was a lesson in, trusting people or not, in mystery, in, someone being a charismatic leader and whether or not they're leading you astray. This one felt like a commentary on kindness and a commentary on sharing and a commentary on, my house is big enough for so many people, and look at my home and everything we have, and everyone doesn't believe in this magical, mystical place that we took for granted. The day-to-day normal of just having a roof over your head and food is this riches, and no matter what, whether there's a twist or not, I think that is a beautiful message for kids and adults alike to appreciate what they have. I always try to take a step back whenever there's a story like this and really look at what I have. I get to film something on my new not broken phone and my new not broken computer and share with you with actually decent sound, and we put all this together and you guys were patient and stuck with me, and I so appreciate the fact that I get to talk about stuff I love with you because of the internet. So even on the worst day, I get to share in my love of art as a job. That's amazing. And you guys are patient to let me get all my stuff fixed and stuck around with me. That's something I appreciate. But on bad days, it's just like, why is everything broken? What's going on? And even us just having food, us having safety, us having a roof over our heads, what a gift. And I love that this show is addressing that in a war lens in Star Wars, but it's doing it in a light way. It's doing it in a way that is palatable for kids, that you can Trojan horse that origin of morality and ethics and kindness and appreciation and peace into their minds. And again, every age needs to hear some of those stories. And this was really cool. I really dug this episode. Like I said earlier, each kid's growing on me more, but Neil definitely was a highlight this episode. You actually felt for that little elephant kid and that cute little first kiss. There's just an adorability to this little elephant kid that feels so human now that we've spent time with him. Jude Law continues to be charm incarnate. I love that reveal with the animals and that whole bartering for the kids. Like, he's really, embracing that. The just kill me was funny. And that line would not have worked in a lot of things, but since we're playing in this younger, demographic and a younger show, that delivery is so perfect for this world. And I'm really digging Jude Law getting to just play into that. So really curious what his power set ends up being, since it seems like, he's shying away from being a Jedi. This episode, it was curious that reaction he had to the captain programming this robot. Everyone's assumed, for obvious reasons, that he's the captain at the opening of the first episode, but with a mask on. They seem to be alluding to that even deeper, but that reaction, was he programmed to not acknowledge his captain? There's so much at play here as to the mystery. There's so much at play as to where Atten is. I really enjoyed the play on Akron and like all the other Ats to mislead, and then the where the directions go being etched out and how much Jude Law knows. There's so many great double blinds, and I'm really curious how this all lands. So The Acolyte was the first Star Wars show I covered on this channel, and it wasn't so much for me. But I always looked for good things in it. I'm really liking that the Skeleton Crew is for me, and there's plenty to find that I like in it, even though the first couple episodes, it's a younger skewing show. I needed to adjust to that tone, and then by late in episode 2, I was in. Episode 3, I would have continued watching whether it was branded Star Wars or not. Now, with episode 4, I am very much about these characters, about this world, about this adventure. Last episode, it totally had me. This episode reinstilled that, gave the foundation a yes. That said, as we wrap out of here, I do want to say the next 2 episodes, they come out on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, and Disney did not send me any screeners. I have no access to seeing this early, and I will not be working on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So I will do my coverage of episodes 5 and 6 at some point before 7. So in January, we'll get back to it. I will have those episodes up, but unfortunately, I don't have access to them, and I need a vacation so bad This month I will have over 30 videos on this page in the 31 days of December, as well as me doing work at Real Rejects, as well as me doing works with Capes and Cowls, as well as me doing work with DC Studio Showcase, as well as me doing work on Koicast, as well as me doing work on my Patreon, as well as reading 70 comics a week, as well as watching all the movies I need to watch for the end of the year to wrap out my 2024 best movies, as well as making videos about that, plus all the comics best of videos, and I'm going to do a music best of video. So in short, subscribe to this page because I'm bringing you all of that in the next couple weeks, and in long, I will not be here for episode 5 and 6 unless I miraculously get some screeners, because your boy's not working on Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I apologize. I want to have some downtime. So I'll be back in January with those episodes of the show. I will be reviewing those. If by some inspired energy I'm like, yeah, I really want to work on Christmas Eve, maybe I'll post. I can't guarantee that won't happen, but I can almost guarantee that won't happen. So maybe I'll be back before then with those episodes, but most likely those will be January. That said, I am going to be watching What If early and getting those videos up each and every day for the 8 days they air from the 22nd through the 30th. So this page will not be dead, and I'll be posting movie reviews, my best of, and all those things. So this will not be an empty page. So please hit that subscription bell so I can share all those other things with you lovelies, and we'll come back to this in the new year. If not, maybe sooner. But much love to each and every one of you. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Let me know what you're thinking of the show overall. Leave a like in this video so I know you like this video. And if you like comics, if you like movies, if you like TV, if you're excited for any of the bevy of stuff coming in the next coming weeks, subscription bell. Let's hit that 40K by the end of the year. Please, please, please. All right. Much, much love. I hope you're enjoying this as much as I have. Kindness is not a weakness. It is a bounty. And having just a place where you're comfortable and food and all those things is something not everyone has, and something we should not take for granted. So as we go into the holidays, I appreciate you for helping me have the abundance I do of a roof over my head and food in my belly. Much love. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.